Good morning. Happy Wednesday. Happy New Year's Eve. I'm so excited to head in the New Year's speaking with you guys. Welcome to From the Nosebleeds. I'm Joey Gunnar. The Chargers have been a thorn in the side of Bo Nix for his entire career. He has yet to beat them in any game of his career. Going back all the way to last October, the last home game that the Broncos lost up until this last two games up against the Jaguars. That game, the Broncos lost at home, but that doesn't look like it's the case anymore. The Chargers being that team that stops Bo Nix from succeeding. It looks like they are waving the white flag ahead of their matchup this Sunday. The matchup that, if the Broncos win, will secure the #1 seed in the AFC, something that the Broncos have not done in over a decade. A huge, huge accomplishment for this Broncos team. Justin Herbert will not be playing in this game on Sunday. As big as it can get, as huge news as it can get, that is the clearest and most obvious sign that the Chargers are not going to try to win this game. They're not going to put in any of their effort to win this game. They are comfortable with where they are, being a wild card team. They're comfortable with the movement that they might still have, with the Bills maybe winning and changing up the seating a little bit. The Chargers don't care about it. But the Broncos, on the other hand, they care a lot about this game, because if the Broncos win this game, they get a bye week. They get a free bye week to rest all of their starters. They don't have to worry about winning a wild card game away or at home. They have to worry about resting up and then getting ready for a divisional matchup. I'm so excited. I'm so excited that I saw this news come across my phone a couple of days ago. Jim Harbaugh announcing that Herbert will not be playing in this game. Trey Lance will be playing. And for my football fans, Trey Lance isn't going to do very much against this Broncos defense. I mean, this Broncos defense has had its struggles towards the end of the season, but this is a good game where they can come in, play at 90% of their normal strength, and still absolutely dominating this Chargers. I mean, obviously this Chargers front and entire offense and defense too has been struggling with some injuries throughout the entirety of the season. Justin Herbert's obviously been very banged up. Looked like he was having an MVP season at the beginning of the year and kind of fell off of that train. But now the Broncos are just going to capitalize. That's all that they can do. The Chargers are handing you a win here. They're throwing you a softball. Bang it out of the park. Just hit it out of the park. And that's all that you need to do. And you get a bye week. You win your wild card matchup by not having to do anything. You have your bye week, something that the Broncos, again, haven't done in a long, long time. So the importance of that cannot go unnoticed. But then after that bye week, and we're just assuming that the Broncos end up winning this game, and maybe that's the wrong assumption. We've seen the way that the Broncos have backed into some wins. But after the bye week, what are we looking at? We're looking at a Broncos team that's revitalized, rejuvenated. Of course, having a short bye or a little mini bye this week after having to play on Thursday, Christmas Day, and then getting an extra 10 days of rest going up against the Chargers, and then a week after that to rest, or 2 weeks after that. They get an advantage, obviously, over every single team. No matter who's playing them, the Broncos have that advantage. So that cannot go unnoticed. The rest that comes with that. But let's just look here, and I want to see what the matchups will look like, because then you're talking about teams like the Bills could be a sneaky team that you may face in the divisional round of the playoffs. That would be something that I kind of want to see in terms of a rematch. You know, Broncos losing with Bo Nix's first season in the playoffs. Nobody really expected them to win, but now there's new higher stakes. So the Bills right now at the 7th seed, if they end up winning and the Chargers lose, then the Bills would move up to the 6th seed and the Chargers would fall down below to the 7th. That's another matchup where you can maybe see the Chargers winning over a team like New England. I can't really count on that, though. And then there's teams like the Steelers. You know, if the Steelers end up beating the Houston Texans right now with the way that that's lined up, you're either getting the Texans or the Steelers in one of those games. Give me it. Give me that every single day of the week. I would kill to see the Texans or the Steelers playing the Broncos at home at Mile High in January. That's not a game I would be confident in the opposing team at all. I would feel very comfortable watching the Broncos in that game, knowing that they have a good chance to win it. But the entire playoff picture, we're looking at Broncos, Patriots, Jaguars, and Steelers winning all of their divisions, and then Houston Texans, Los Angeles Chargers, and Buffalo Bills all in those wild card spots. So any of those teams the Broncos could see in the divisional round. Of course, not the Patriots or the Jaguars likely, but a team like the Chargers, the Texans, the Bills, all of those wild card teams could have a very likely possibility of making it out of the wild card up against a team like the Patriots or the Jaguars, as good as they've been so far this season. And yeah, that's a great comment. I'm seeing a comment here. Mario Diacampos. I can't pronounce it right now. I'm reading too fast, but could be the Ravens. Yeah, it could be the Ravens. And that's an even better alternative for the Broncos. If the Broncos end up playing the Ravens in the divisional round, I'm riding that all the way to the bank. That's a team that has not found any success or any legitimate, consistent success this season at all. And I wouldn't count on them to find it late in the playoffs. But yeah, this weekend, we are watching something that hasn't happened. Of course, I said it earlier, in a decade, the Broncos winning the AFC in 2 years. Bo Nix has turned this team around. Sean Payton has turned this team around. George Payton, Greg Penner, all of these pieces of the puzzle that have fit together perfectly to put the Broncos in a great position to find real success. I've been as open and as honest about it all season. This team feels like a Super Bowl team, and it felt like that to Sean Payton. He said that early in the year. He said something along the lines of, I've only coached a few teams that feel like a Super Bowl winning team, and this feels like one of them. I'm not actually quoting there. That's just something along the lines of what he said. And you can feel it in the locker room. I mean, these guys know what they have on this roster. This team has built wins, has stacked wins throughout the rest of the season. And people are going to try to discredit Bo Nix and say how easy the schedule was in certain points. They're not doing that for Drake May. They're not doing that for Drake May, but they're finding ways to do it for Bo Nix. Drake has had an easier schedule than Bo Nix, and the Patriots have found themselves in a worse position than the Broncos. So if that doesn't go to show you exactly what this Broncos team is made of, then I don't know what will. They are a perfectly crafted team right now. They've found success in areas that I didn't think they'd be able to find success in, like the run game. Even with J.K. Dobbins down, R.J. Harvey has found ways to impact the game. And that, again, is something that I would have not expected earlier in the season. If you've been watching this show for a while now, you know that as soon as R.J. Harvey was selected, I was not a fan. And he's quickly, slightly turned me around. I mean, he is obviously proven to be a great touchdown scorer in the red zone. He can find his way into the end zone, and that is exactly what the Broncos need. So going forward into this matchup up against the Chargers, with them waving the white flag, I'd expect a sizable win, a big win at home. Again, the first time that Bo Nix will beat the Chargers in his career. And I'm getting a little bit too ahead of myself right now. And maybe I am, just a little bit high on this feeling of watching Justin Herbert sit on the bench and Trey Lance take the field. But we should all be expecting a huge win for the Broncos this weekend. Let me know in the comments how you're feeling about this. Are you expecting a big win? Is it going to be another close game? That should not be. I mean, we watched what happened up against the Chiefs, where they're playing their third string quarterback, and it still ends up being a closer game than we expected. Anything can happen any given Sunday, especially in week 18. There is movement to be had in the playoff bracket. Keep your eyes glued to the TV. I can't wait to come back Monday after this weekend and talk in the new year about the Broncos starting their new year with the #1 seed. It's so exciting, guys. Let me know how you're feeling in the comments, but we should move on because we got some really good news yesterday. And we were talking all yesterday. I was here talking about Nikola Jokic and how he went down on Monday with a knee injury and how scary it was. The news broke right as we ended the show. There's some people in the comments who got the news a little bit earlier from a source that I didn't really know about. But they did. So thank you in the comments yesterday for letting me know what happened. But it was ruled a hyperextension in Nikola Jokic's left knee, not anything more serious. Of course, when you see a player go down with an injury like he had, the immediately thought is ACL. You watch what happened, the way he's writhing about on the floor, twisting and screaming. You think it's an ACL. That is not the case. A hyperextension will miss at least 4 weeks and will be reevaluated after that. And that is the best news to come out of this locker room. I would have expected worse. And I am so happy that we got best case scenario yesterday, because we are looking at a team that is going to be fully healthy, hopefully, in 4 weeks. Jamal Murray right now, the only starter to hold down his position, which is so funny because a couple seasons ago, I remember when he was the only starter that was out. So now he is holding down the team, waiting for Christian Brown, Aaron Gordon, Cam Johnson, and of course, our king, Nikola Jokic, to come back onto that floor. I was seeing Twitter earlier today, and it was funny to watch people. I saw a clip put together of a bunch of different Warriors plays back in 2017 when they looked like the most dominant team in NBA history. And everybody was saying, this is what the Nuggets are going to look like in 4 weeks when they got all their starters back. And I can't say that I disagree. The Nuggets have the most dominant roster in the league right now. They had the best offseason in the league, and they look like a better crafted team than they ever have, a better crafted team than the 2023 championship team. This is the best Nuggets team that has ever existed, the best roster that has ever been created for the Denver Nuggets. And with Nikola Jokic coming back in 4 weeks, that is the best possible news. Now, the ramifications of that are still there. We're looking at him likely missing the All-Star. We're looking at him likely missing out on the MVP, despite the fact that he looked like a huge favorite. And he's having his best season ever, averaging something like 30, 12, and 11. Insane numbers. My career numbers, if you're a 2K player. Wilt Chamberlain numbers, if you're an old head. Those are numbers and stats that you are likely never going to see a player average for a season ever again. That's the kind of thing that we saw from James Harden back in 2018, where he did it for a month. He averaged 40 for a month. Nikola Jokic averaged 30, 12, and 11 for half a season. And now he's going to be out for 4 weeks, likely missing that 65-game threshold that you need to break to make the All-Star, or not All-Star, the MVP, DPOY, all those major awards. You need to have at least 65 games in the season under your belt. And Nikola Jokic, if he only misses exactly 4 weeks, if he comes back as early as possible and does not miss a game, he will play 66 games. But that's still really, really close. So likely not going to happen. But Nikola Jokic coming back and being reevaluated in 4 weeks is the best news possible. Now, another ramification of that is, of course, what the seeding is going to do. The Nuggets are going to drop. They're going to lose a lot of games in this stretch. It's not a diss on the bench. It's not a diss on Jamal Murray. Those guys are just not going to be able to perform at the same level as when Nikola Jokic is on the field or on the court. Not only that, though, you're still missing AG, CB, and Cam Johnson. So those guys being out too, along with Nikola Jokic for 4 more weeks, you're going to lose a good amount of games in this chunk of time. Now, the first two that I mentioned, Aaron Gordon and Christian Brown, they're going to come back a lot earlier than Cam Johnson and Nikola Jokic. But with those two back, you're still not going to look at the same success as what you're expecting beforehand. The Nuggets look to maybe win around 55 games this season. I don't think that that's going to be the case anymore. Maybe a bit closer to 45, 47. You're going to take a big drop, and you might be looking at even a play-in standing by the time that Nikola Jokic returns to the court. So a lot is going to happen. A lot of damage is going to be done with Nikola Jokic off the court. But still, when he gets back, you're looking at the same team. I mean, you're talking about a guy who has one of the toughest bodies in the NBA. We haven't talked about a serious injury like this for Nikola Jokic really in his career. So with him being out, you're going to see a team that we haven't really seen in the Nikola Jokic era, a team without their leader. So there's going to be movement to be had. There's going to be damage that happens. But overall, best news possible. Nikola Jokic will return this season in only about 4 weeks, and that's when he'll be reevaluated. So let me know how you're feeling in the comments. I'm seeing a lot of your comments from you guys. I wish we could put them up, but I can't right now. Turtle4614, win is a win. Won't be sad when we get the number 1 seed. I don't care how they win this game. You know, I've talked a lot about how they're winning games earlier in the season. I don't care how they win this game. Play it slow. Win 13-10. Don't play as hard as you need to. Just win this game against Trey Lance, and you have the number 1 seed, and then you get a week to rest. All that matters right now is a win. This is more important than a playoff game. This is so much more important than a playoff game, because a playoff game, you win and you're on to the next. This one automatically wins you a playoff game, and then you have home field advantage for the next 2 games in the playoffs. So as important as it gets right here, more important than a playoff game, just win it. Just find a way to win against Trey Lance, and I will be as happy as I could be. A few more comments in here. Mario Diacampos, again, if the Broncos stay humble and hungry, they can be in the Super Bowl. Love that. Love that so much. That's all that they got to do. David Youngkin, 9891. They aren't giving up. They have to go on the road anyway. You mean the Chargers? The Chargers have to go on the road anyway. They aren't giving up. It looks to me like they're giving up. You sit your starting quarterback. You sit an MVP candidate earlier in the season in Justin Herbert. Looks to me like you're giving up a little bit. At least it signals that a little bit right there. But thank you guys so much for joining. I will see you all on Friday, not tomorrow, taking a day off for New Year's. Nobody's going to be here. I don't know if there's going to be any other shows. Might be some. But check on our Denver Sports YouTube channel. We'll have all of that stuff right there. But we will see you guys all on Friday. Enjoy the New Year's tonight. Hope to see you guys all on Friday. Of course, talking more about this huge game that's coming up this weekend. But thank you all for joining. I'll be back with you guys then. Until then, y'all have a great rest of your day. Bye, y'all.